Hello, welcome to DIY is my happy place. I'm Amy and today I am so excited. This might be my favorite video ever. I have hollow doors in my house. They remind me of what you might put in a motorhome or something. Anyway, I've refurbished a lot of things and I've even painted hollow doors. But I have to say, I came up with this new technique by accident, and now it's my favorite thing ever. And it only takes 5 minutes to do and just a smidge of paint. I say smidge because it's just so little. And I am so excited to show you how I came up with the process, why, and how you can do it too. So if you don't like your hollow doors and you want them to be made up to look like solid wood doors, come along for the ride. All it takes is 5 minutes and a smidge. So let's have some fun. Today's tutorial is going to show how to refurbish a hollow door. The reason why I refurbished my hollow, ugly door was because of a mistake I made while painting this cabinet. I'm going to explain that to you. First of all, I was refurbishing my bathroom and I love to paint surfaces. Let's just say it's an easy way to completely update and renovate. This is what my bathroom looked like before I got started. I wanted to be able to renovate the whole bathroom using paint. So in order to do that on a tight budget, the best thing to do is to find mist-tint paint. If you don't know what that is unused or mixed colored paint. You can find it in a lot of places, sometimes free or for really cheap. I like to take the mist-tint paints and use them for my primer because it helps to save on the paint that I'm going to use to change the color in my room. Now, when I'm doing cabinets, it takes quite a few coats of paint, especially if you're going blue. And so I was using this cream color for a primer, and oops, I did it again. I accidentally splashed some of that primer paint on my hollow door. I didn't plan on painting my door. I had enough surfaces in the bathroom. So I hurried and I grabbed the closest soap that I could find, which happened to be a shower gel. And I got a wet washcloth, put my soap on it, and I just started scrubbing off the splash paint off of my door, or trying to. And let's just say it didn't come off. In fact, it got embedded in even more. I'm recreating the situation because I didn't video myself during it. So let's just pretend these little splotches of paint represent some splashed on paint. So here I am rubbing vigorously, trying to get the paint out so I don't have to paint the door. And no, it just kept smearing everywhere. But my mist-tint paint became its own oops. Have no fear. You can create something great, even in a mistake. And that was the one thing that I noticed. I couldn't believe how beautiful the door looked. Cue the angel music. La, so happy. And all of a sudden I realized that took me less than 5 minutes. And it looks better than anything. And I started thinking, I gotta do the whole entire door. So I started working on the door, and I worked on the trim around the door, and I was looking down the hall as I was wiping it on, and I looked at all my doors and all my trim that I've never found time to get to, even though I have never loved them. I realized this was a 5 minute commitment and pennies worth of paint. I mean, it's just so little. So I started doing the same thing on all my doors and all the door jambs, and I can't believe how happy I am. Then after I got my countertop painted and I painted my floor, those videos can be linked below, I realized that the blue floor and the blue countertop or cabinet, and eventually I painted my countertop as well, which I'll show you in just a minute. It all started looking too close to the same color of blue. So I decided, hey, I'm going to use this same technique on the front of my cabinets. I added a little darker blue on it to try to give it a little bit of a texture to it because I've already painted over the grain of the wood. And this is one thing that I realized. If you have a color that you don't absolutely love, say on a cabinet, you could use this same technique and you don't have to commit to completely painting every square inch of the cabinet because it's just kind of a wash over it. And you can give it a different look, a more updated look. And you don't have to take off the doors and get every single nook and cranny because it's very forgiving. So I just started doing the same thing with my same little soap and water and paint. Now I know that generally in whitewashing, you take paint, you water it down, and it's this whole thing, but I found that I end up dripping paint all over, and this was so much faster and easier. And I never would have guessed that a bone-colored white would work. I mean, really, you could use any colors of white, but I would have never thought to use this had it not been a mistake. So I just put that on, then I thought, well, I wanted a little bit lighter. And so I just keep on going until I get the color that I'm looking for. I can't believe how much it just lifts my heart up to know that I could create this change so easily. Here it is before I put the hardware back on, and I'm really loving it. Here's my countertop that I also painted. That's another video, but I love how paint can make a difference. Have I said paint enough? Oh, that ended up, I put epoxy over the top of it. Love it so much. So as soon as that was done, I knew that the main thing that I needed to do was change the bottom so that it would work better. And this is the final look of my door. Now, if you can't remember, this is my before bathroom. I painted the linoleum. That was about 5 years ago, and it helped a lot, but it needed more help. So here is the final reveal. Oh, I'm so happy. Look at that beautiful door and door jamb, and painted everything. I put trim around the mirror. I added all types of embellishments. All of this came under $100. And the painting of the doors, really, I got the paint for free actually. And so it was just 5 minutes worth of work. Not a bad deal, if you ask me. I have to say that's my favorite mistake I've ever made. And now I'm doing all my doors. Now, let me tell you one way that you can get free paint, possibly in your own area. I have a store in the Omaha area called Under the Sink, and they actually take paints from people. You can donate your paint or you can get free paint that other people have donated. So I go there often because I'm always working on a project and I get myself some free paint. Now, if you don't have a store like that in your area, there are other options too. If you go to the Habitat Restore, they have a lot of mistint, used paints, or overstocked paints that you can get for a reasonable price. Now, if you don't have a Restore, you can also go to any store that sells paint and always look in their mistint section first, especially if you're looking for a shade of white or a shade of gray, which is what works for the store. Any shade of white or shade of gray will work to do this weathered look. So there is your tip for the day. Now, if you haven't done so already, please like, share this out where you can, and don't forget to ring the bell to all, and so that you can be notified when I put up new content. Next week, oh, I'm so excited for my video for next week. I'm always 1 week behind. I edit for the week, so I've already processed next week's video. This is gonna be fun, and it's done with a bunch of free paint that I received, that I worked and got, I guess. Anyway, it's so fabulous. So don't forget to check back. Every Wednesday I put up a new post. All right, I'll see you soon.